This question's for Jim. At past cons, you've done the sketches ahead of time and hidden them throughout the cons. Are you going to do anything like that for this con? And if you could you
Did you check underneath your seat?
I'm not lucky today.
Yeah. No, I only did that for Comic-Con. It was a lot of work. I needed a lot of... I did a bunch of sketches in advance and then hid them throughout the Comic-Con, and I dropped them into people's bags while they were walking along the streets and taped them underneath tables at the cafe and leave them by the side of the road. So it was a lot of work. I needed a bunch of my family to help me out, my assistant, and I'm here just with Scott. He didn't want to help me out, so I didn't, haven't done anything like that, but maybe next year.
Next question is the third row on your left.
Hi, this question is for Scott. York. I just have one, you just mentioned something about how Batman is like in the middle in between the good and the evil. So my question is, do you ever, like when you're writing Batman, do you ever think that he's kind of punishing himself in a way because he couldn't stop what was going on with his parent, like what happened with his parents, and then like is he punishing himself again because he can't really save the city that he loves so much? And that's what I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you asked him, he would say no. He would say, I'm preventing that from happening to anyone else, and he's successful at that because he's eternally in his prime in a lot of ways. But if you take a 30,000-foot view of it, he's punishing himself because ultimately, as a human being, he'll never be able to save Gotham and stop that from happening to somebody at some point. So even though in the stories and in the comics he's able to do it, there's sort of I think an unspoken vein of tragedy in it, where you know eventually he'll be too old, or he'll miss one day. And the great thing about the comics is, he always makes it. But when you look at him that way, I think from a sort of telescopic view, there's something wonderfully tragic about that too. That he's doing it and not admitting that one day it won't work.
To add to that, there's one other weird element, there's another cool mythical element to Batman, which I think is alluded to in Dark Knight Returns, is when he goes into the shower and he realizes he shaved off his mustache, right? It's almost like he's a vessel for the Bat Force or something, and he really has no choice to be Batman, right? That it's acting through him, and it was really cool because Frank also set it up where the Joker, he's in Arkham Asylum, and all of a sudden he's just kind of out there, and then all of a sudden something clicks because Batman has re-emerged, and you see the Joker's kind of presence re-emerge through that character. And so it's just very kind of cool that there are these forces of anarchy and order that are out there, and they just kind of act through these people and make them doubly more tragic because they really have no choice in the matter.